A while back, I got a notification on Facebook that somebody had commented on something I had written. And so when I got on there was a guy I did not know, and he was just going berserk about F you, F God, you're a effing idiot, you're a MFing this and MFing that. And so I don't even know the guy. And so I creeped him on Facebook, and he was from Colorado, and I'm from Texas. And so long story short, I just simply say, here's my phone number. Let's talk. I don't know why this guy's so angry. And lo and behold, like a minute later, my phone rings and it says Colorado. And so I'm like, oh, well, here we go. And so I pick up the phone. He said, so you said you wanted to talk. And he just went on a big rant about how idiotic I was and how I was effing brainwashed and just on and on and on. So finally I said, man, you're obviously very hurt by what life has dealt you, and it's a shame, and I apologize that you've gone through whatever it is. And I said, but you're really, at the end of the day, you're angry at God. Because he said, don't you start telling me I'm angry at God. There ain't no effing God. And I said, life has dealt you some hard times, obviously. And then when you didn't get the prayer answered the way you desired, then you have come to the conclusion that obviously there is no God. And this dude starts crying, and he says, you don't understand what I've been through. I've seen people's heads get blown off, and and he went through a whole laundry list of things that he's had to endure. And he's right. I don't know what he's had to endure. But what I do know, and this is what I told him, I said, everything you've told me, you're blaming God for. But the truth is, God didn't cause them situations. It was the lack of God that caused them situations. What happens is men, women, people, they get full of themselves. They get full of evil. And then they do things that are against God. Where there's God, there's peace. Where there's God, there's hope. Where there's God, there's love. But where God is not, there's chaos, there is killing, there's rape, there's all these other horrible things that I care not to mention right now. You know what they are. But it isn't God that causes them bad situations. It's the lack of God. And when I told him that, it was like walls fell down from around this man's heart. And he just crumbled. I mean, I couldn't physically see him, but I could hear it happening, and he just broke, and he started crying and crying and crying, and he says, I have blamed God for so many years that I'm not sure if he could forgive me. And that's the beauty of who God is, because God is love. He is the essence of what it is. It is he that is our example. And I assure you, if one thing I can tell you is that he is willing to forgive those who should not be forgiven, and give grace and mercy to those who should never even understand what it is. But he gives it freely because God is love. Don't forget that. I don't care what you have encountered. It wasn't God that caused that. It was the lack of God. When we become so focused on ourselves, we take our eyes off what's truly important, and ungodly things happen. And that's what happened in this man's life. And a few kind words changed this man. And he brought him back to his, not me. It was a few kind words from God. I'm not ignorant enough to believe that somehow I did that. I know that God did that. And he will do it for you, and he'll do it through you. But you have to be willing. Are you willing? That's the question. Lord knows I'm the least deserving person I know of his love. But man, does he pour it out on me.